That sounds great.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of That Sounds Great with Khash and G. We are here at the Cube, the home of producers in London, and we are just lining up a very special episode for you guys today. We've got a very incredible guest on the show. Tell us a bit more about the guest, G.
Guys, welcome to the show. I'm super excited for this episode today. Today we have a friend of ours, friend of Avid, someone we've known for a very long time, and we actually met him recently as well, which is awesome. First, I want to introduce David Yungin Kim. Now, an absolute legend. You know, you really are the success stories of kind of started from the bottom, and we can't wait to explore your story today and actually tell the new generation and those interested in music and generally just interested in knowing more about you, how you began. But first of all, I'm going to keep my intro short, and I'm going to let David talk about David Yungin Kim. So please tell us where you're from and kind of who you are and what you do.
My name is David Yungin Kim, and I currently reside in Los Angeles, California. I was born in Korea, son of immigrants. We came to this country with $600 in our pocket, and somehow we ended up here, man. Like through a lot of hard work and dedication and grind. We're here.
Wow, incredible. And for those that don't know, guys, David is a Grammy winner. Just casually slide that in there. So yeah, really talking to that come up. What was the process like going from sweeping studio floors to achieving greatness like that?
It was a lot of hardships, a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, sometimes blood. But you know, just like constantly finding motivation for the down days, and I'm gonna tell you there were a lot more down days than up days until recently, and I've been in the game for 11 years now. I started as an intern 2011, July 11th actually, and you know, for 4 years all I did was pick up food, scrub toilets, um, empty ashtrays, you know, clean up after the rappers had their sessions, and you know, that's the only time I would get into the studios. And coming from there in just finding reasons to stay, because there was a point every day I would walk to my manager's office and like on the verge of quitting, you know, and I'll find something like, I remember when my friend tried to give me a security job, like told me to quit the studio, you know, that triggered me. Okay, I'm gonna stay one more day. And then my parents might be like, hey, are you still like chasing your dream? Oh, that's another day I was gonna quit and didn't quit. Whatever it was, sometimes it was positive reinforcement. A lot of times it was like negative reinforcement. But yeah, man, we always heard the cliche, like just work hard, don't give up. But through my process, I really learned what that meant. And like, now I think it's my duty to pass that on to the next generation. I want to be that one person to you know, prevent that one person from quitting. And if I can change one life, then you know.
How did you get your foot? How did you get your foot in the door in the first place?
Well, I graduated top of my class in 2009, and you know, I thought I was the shit. I thought I was going to come into the real world and just dominate, and that wasn't the case. I couldn't find work for like 2 years, and you know, Chalice was at the top of my list. That was kind of like the only place I wanted to work, because when I was looking for internships and things like that, I ran into the website and I looked at the client list. I'm like, oh, might as well reach for the top, you know? And I kept trying, I kept submitting my resume, and I wouldn't hear back. So, you know, one day I kind of got fed up and I changed my approach. I went on Facebook, and Chalice has a page with employees and stuff. I cold messaged the employees, asked everybody if like, you know, they can kind of get me in there, or if I can get an interview. And then luckily one of the guys, he responded. His name is Josh Sellers. So shout out to Josh. No, Josh is a real one. And I saw him today actually in the kitchen at Chalice, and it's still love, and I'll
Nice.
forever be thankful for him. He vouched for me, and he said that like I was his friend, and they had a round of interviews coming up. I got a interview, and then I did well enough in the interview to land an internship. Mhm.
Wow, man, that's amazing. And stories like yours, David, are just they resonate a lot. I mean, when we saw you as well, they resonate a lot with myself because I know that typical saying of starting from the bottom.
Yeah,
And you hear so many success stories around when you speak to people. They've either gone full sell, they've gone
yeah,
college, they've kind of gone to university, whatever it may be, but ended
right.
up at their dream goal. And obviously, yours really is a kind of like starting from the bottom story, right? So
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to kind of the engineering and mixing side of things now, right? Um, how did you kind of start learning how to mix? Was it because obviously you said you were popping into studios, cleaning ashtrays, sweeping the floors, getting coffees and stuff like that? But obviously that
Hmm.
would be like a minute or two, right? But how did you
Hmm.
actually get into? Did you study in a specific music college or uni, or did you kind of just pick it up on the job, or how did you get into actually engineering and mixing and learning? Because obviously now you're a Grammy winner. There's no right book on how to do it, right? It's
Facts. There's no right or
many
wrong.
ways. You learn on the job or whatever it may be. But yeah, how was your experience on how you got to learn?
um, so I went to the Musicians Institute in Hollywood. I took the recording engineering program, and I would say probably 10%, maybe a little bit less of my knowledge came from school,
Hmm.
and most of it was like on the job, real life experience. I
Mm.
would get into the studios after the clients would leave, and like, luckily, our studio manager at the time, Sandra, she would let us get into the studios when they weren't booked. So anytime they weren't booked, after my 6 o'clock, 9 a.m. to 6 o'clock shift, I would get into the studios until like 2 3 a.m. Sleep on the couch, wake up, scrub the floors, and literally I'll come to work on Monday morning and I'll go home Friday night
Mm.
every day for like 4 years. And I will get into the studio any chance I got, and even if I didn't have anything to work on, like I would redo projects. I would like hit up people that might need recordings and bring them into the studio, practice recording that way. So by the time I got my shot, like I had put in more hours than the guys that are actually there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And I find it fascinating when you were talking about graduating from school and feeling like $1 million, right? And feeling like you deserve the world and you're gonna dominate everything. Because
Yeah.
I had a similar feeling when I graduated, but the reality is I started working as a sound engineer, and next thing I know, I'm like cleaning cables and coiling cables. And I was like, hang on a second, I just paid all this money. But
Right.
it's funny because, like, in reality, what you get for the most part is technical knowledge and
Hmm.
organizational skills from education, not so much of the real life experience which you would get, working in the likes of these studios and places like that. So it's always
Exactly.
fascinating to hear that story. And for anyone that's listening out there who's feeling down and out from, in their current role, just there's a long road ahead, but it can be a
Hmm.
good road if you stick at it, right?
Facts.
Exactly. Just don't give up. That's the main purpose of this whole conversation. Is just never give up. Very
Exactly.
important.
And you are exactly where you're supposed to be in life.
Mm.
Because
Hmm.
if in within those 4 years I was a runner, if I was thrown into the studio, I wasn't ready.
Mm.
I would have messed it up. I might have got blacklisted. I might have took steps backwards. You know what I'm saying? So like
So
I
important.
would always be so antsy about like and be so frustrated at why my chance was not my timing wasn't right and my
Is
chance didn't come yet.
is
But
is
it's
there a
because I wasn't ready.
is there a was there a specific day that you can remember and think back to where you're like, oh man, that was the day where I got my chance to shine and impress some people in the studio?
Um, no, not really, because the only date that I could specifically remember was 7/11/2011, because that's the day that I first stepped into Chalice as an intern. And then
Wow.
Mm.
from there it was
Wow.
kind of blurry because
Just a
like I
gradual.
know I know that I was an intern for 1 year for free. I know I was a runner for 4 years after that. But after that, it's kind of like I prepared so hard.
Yeah.
Every opportunity that came to me, I almost felt like I was ready for. And then yeah, man, it just kind of happened so fast from there on. And fast forward to like maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, that's where I finally felt like, oh man, like I think I didn't make it, but I did a good job. Like everything happened for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
I remember just touching back on what you just said a second ago. Now, it's so important that you said this as well. But like, you said about 4 years ago you wasn't ready and stuff like that, dude.
Mhm.
Stuff like that is so true. I remember like when I was out of university making beats as you do.
You
know,
think
thought
you're
I was
ready,
the
right?
best. Yeah, I had a meeting with Atlantic Records somehow.
Yeah.
Managed to get hold of someone from there. Went in there, and the guy was just like looking at me like, "What are you playing?" Anyway, forward on now, and I actually listened back to it last year during COVID because I was like, let me go open some old projects up.
Yeah.
What was that? I was like, how can I even go in that room and be like, this is the kind of music we're making, and walk out thinking, what? How would he even say?
How did you secure
Yeah.
that hookup? That's what I want to know.
That's wow.
I know labels,
Yeah,
but
that's a
yeah,
huge
we won't get
thing.
into that conversation. Yeah, it was good, man.
Hit up G if you want a meeting
No,
with these guys.
It was. But yeah, man, and it just kind of showed me that's not the route that's designed for me. So let me
Right.
just go and focus on myself.
Right.
But dude, it's so true, man. Like, you know, and the thing is, regardless of what you do, who you're with, whatever, it's just do not give up and just keep
Right.
chasing that journey. Because soon as you stop your journey, you've stopped that journey.
That's
right?
it.
Obviously, there's certain things that come up and circumstances, but
Yeah.
I do believe in the kind of thing about you design. You keep going.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
give up.
Mhm.
You're making that path.
That's it.
Yes,
You
sir.
only lose when you stop, right? So
Exactly that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was it that made you choose Pro Tools then as your main door? Had to drop it.
Well, when I first started, I was on Logic, and then when I entered the program, the recording engineering program, they were teaching it in Pro Tools, so I had to learn Pro Tools, and like I gotta admit, I had like a love-hate relationship with Avid because there were so many things that like that I was frustrated about. And then the next patch comes out, still nothing changed. But then ultimately, I got so comfortable with Pro Tools. Like, I'm leaving Pro Tools. I'm gonna go try Studio One. Nope. That lasted an hour. I had to go back to Pro. Sorry. Like take me back like an ex-girlfriend kind of thing. But,
Sorry, we
man,
forgive
but-
you. We forgive you, David.
Thank you. I appreciate you. and now we're here, right? But yeah, Pro Tools just like the thing I love about Pro Tools is like there's 10 different ways to do one thing. You know, there's multiple hotkeys to do one thing. You got keyboard focus mode, you got regular, and then now you have customizable keyboards, so like the possibilities are endless. And then the thing that you guys showed me, I think you guys showed me the search bar.
Search
Yeah.
function.
Shit, that's amazing. And now I know now I have two ways to do that, because remember I showed y'all the little help button.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, Avid Pro Tools just has so many paths to get to the same destination. And like that's how I look at life, you know? Like there's not one path to get somewhere. You just pivot. Sometimes this way works. Okay, that's cool. Sometimes you don't have a number pad, you know? Sometimes you don't have your mouse. You have that trackpad, and you got to finesse your way to get the same result. And like Avid, you know, figured it out.
When one door opens, one door closes, another one opens.
Wait, door
Exactly.
or door?
One door?
Oh,
Oh, that's what I heard too.
Damn, that was good.
You meant that, though, right?
That was like the unintentional English accent.
That was door.
One door opens.
Another door closes.
Oh, it's that time of the show. There it is. It's this is the part of the show we call the album interlude section, David. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but what that means is you've got 60 seconds to answer as many questions as possible, rather. And there's going to be like a mixture of music-related ones and random ones we're going to be asking you.
Cool.
And we'll see how many you can answer. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Let's go. I know it's a bit late for you, so apologies. But yeah, let's go for it and see how you can get.
All right.
How many you can get. So your timer starts now. KFC or Korean fried chicken?
Korean fried chicken.
Monitors or headphones?
Monitors.
NBA or NFL?
NFL.
Soundflow or no soundflow?
Soundflow.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Digital or analog?
Digital.
Hip hop or R&B?
R&B.
Favorite song you've mixed?
Racks in the middle.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Guitar or piano?
Piano.
Rapper, dead or alive, you'd love to work with?
I'm working with them right now.
Folder tracks or no folder tracks?
What was that?
Folder tracks or no folder tracks?
Folder tracks.
2 artists you'd love to hear on a track together?
Oh damn.
Got it.
That's you got me. Nas and Jay-Z.
Oh, your time went out. We'll
That
give
was
you
good.
that one. We'll give you that
Nas
one.
and Jay-Z.
That would be hard. I feel like that
Bro.
should have already happened though.
It's happened. It's happened, just not the correct way.
Ah, I see.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
You
Oh,
know,
thank you, bro. That was amazing, though, man. We're gonna
That
tally
was
all the
wicked.
results.
Hey,
off, and-
he was firing on
Yeah,
all cylinders on that
smashed
one.
it.
But
You,
you did.
you guys were talking too. You guys were asking too slow.
Oh,
Oh damn! We got beef out here.
Wow.
Okay. Okay, you want all the smoke? I'll tell you what
Oh,
though,
man.
you did cheat us on one of the answers.
I did.
Yeah, rapper dead or alive you'd love to work with. I mean,
Oh.
it was an ultimate flex to say you're already working with them. But maybe you could have given us a dead rapper, I guess. I don't know. But mate,
Tupac.
Tupac, yeah, there we go. Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Tupac, okay.
wow.
Okay, fair enough. That was man. He did really good on that.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back a little bit now because I know you spoke about Racks in the Middle. Now, R.I.P. our guy. But that was like one of the sickest albums, dude, that I've heard. I mean, it still plays in my car. Like every time it comes on, it gets you pumped. It's just that music that you're just kind of like, wow, this messaging is just insane. And,
Are you talking about Victory Lap?
yeah,
Victor?
oh, bro.
Victor.
Sick.
Well, not to point it out, but Victory Lap came out before Racks in the Middle, and Racks in the Middle was like a standalone single.
Oh.
So Racks in the Middle, it was gonna be part of Hit and Nip were like working more and more, and then he passed away.
Of course, yes.
But Victory Lap is one of my favorite albums.
And you mixed that as well, right?
No, that was
You
Ali.
didn't? Oh, that was all Ali.
So I only did Racks in the Middle.
Right? Yes,
Mhm.
exactly right. So how did you get on kind of Racks in the Middle, and how did that come about? Did you obviously work with Nipsey, or was it kind of sent you, or like was it stems? How did that kind of project come about?
Dude, so HitBoy and Nipsey were working on the song, and so Nipsey was coming like he came to the studio every day for like 4 days straight to finish the song out. And a couple of days I was there recording it, like the last 2 days. And upon completion of the recording, I took it upon myself to ask him, like, this is the first time I ever asked a big artist if I can mix for them.
Wow.
And at that time I wasn't mixing a lot of big projects like that.
Yeah.
So I went up to him after the recording. I was like, hey, I don't know if this is the right way to approach it, but do you think I can get the first pass at the mix? And he was like, hell yeah, because he dug the vibe, and I contributed to the energy in the sessions and stuff, and we got close, and I think he felt my sincerity and my eagerness to work on a song. And the next week he booked the studio, and we knocked it out in like 6 hours. We were done.
Wow, man. I literally
super
pictured
organic.
everything, pictured it all, especially because we've been in the studio with you, so just envisioned it all happening, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Wow,
It
that's
was
a
pretty
lesson
cool.
to all the young folks as well. Just take a shot. Go up and ask someone if you can take control of whatever it is you want to do, man.
Take the risks.
Because like, what's the worst thing that could happen is he says, nah.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
right.
cool.
Right.
At least I tried, and I'm never gonna wonder. Like, I would hate for the song to come out and be like, oh man, I wish I
should've
mixed
asked.
this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
No, that's cool. And like speaking about legends in the game, tell us a bit about what it was like working with Nas.
oh man, so working with Nas was like it felt unreal because at one moment I'm working with him and for all the listeners, like Nas is my first album I've ever purchased, you know, hip hop or not. That was my
Wow.
introduction to the world of music.
Wow.
So yeah, I was 7 years old. My mom bought me it was Illmatic and It Was Written
Oh my god.
because one of my schoolmates was listening to it on this Walkman and he let me hear it and I was like, oh my god, you know, I was consumed. I was like, what is this? And that the next day I literally begged my mom to take me to the local CD store and she bought it for me, right? And fast forward to what 3 years ago when me and HitBoy started working with Nas and bro, it was crazy because Hit Boy is my favorite producer and Nas is my favorite rapper. And while we're working in the studio, you don't really realize. And then the second, okay, this song is done being recorded, I'm like, how the fuck am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did I end up here? You know what I'm saying?
That
And
must have
then
been a real pinch me moment.
bro, it was crazy. And then fast forward, like we're working on our fourth album together in
Wow.
4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like
Unreal.
And just to add,
it's
you won a Grammy
crazy.
off the album as well, right? You picked up a
Hmm.
Grammy from this album as well.
Man.
Just quickly, bro, can you just maybe just speak about how real manifestation is? Because I'm a huge believer of manifestation, law of attraction, and obviously in this case, you just explained, right? It's the first album you bought. You had that album, you would never
Dude.
think, wow, I'm gonna. Or maybe you did.
But
think
that's
it,
the thing,
you know?
yeah. Like, would
Yeah.
you have pictured yourself in that scenario to manifest it? That's
No,
crazy.
like
But you did. But
that.
you did.
That's
You
the
did.
thing.
That's the thing.
But that's the thing about manifestation. It doesn't work the way that you want it to work.
Mm,
You put it
Yep.
into the universe, and now it exists.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Somewhere, right? And the same thing with negative effects. Like, if I do this, this is gonna happen. Yeah, it is, bro. Because now you just created the situation for it to happen. Now you created a lane for something bad to happen to you. For some, the same thing is, same way something great can happen to you, something bad can happen to you because you manifest your fears also. And you know, fear is not something to be scared of. Fear is a direction ultimately you have to face before you get to the next level of your life. That's
so
why
true.
fear is in your life. You know what I mean? Hey, come this way. This is the right way to go. But then we keep running from it and, end up disappointed and end up frustrated at where we are. But,
100%.
it's a very, very clear indicator of, hey, you need to get past me to get to the next level, you
Oh,
know?
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
so manifestation is crazy, man. Like that gives you a goal, that gives you a purpose, and our purpose is always changing and like living without purpose, there's no meaning because the first time you lose, the first time you miss a shot, you're shut down if without purpose.
Yeah.
But if you do have a purpose, like Michael Jordan had a purpose, you know what I'm saying? He always created his purpose changed all the time, but his focus never changed.
And that mentality is worth $1 million itself, I think.
Man, it's worth it's priceless. You can't
Priceless,
teach you can't teach that. Like you have to feel it for yourself, and then once you feel it, it's like you feel invincible, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Agreed.
I bet.
I'm just gonna just briefly touch on kind of the studios and how you work very closely with HitBoy, and HitBoy is an amazing producer. So I just want you to kind of just touch on how you guys have formed a relationship now. You know, you guys are really like closely working and stuff. How did that come about? You know, because obviously you was in Chalice, and I guess he's now got a room there, and everyone's kind of in that same building.
Yeah.
How have you guys formed this relationship, and how close did you guys work together as well?
Man, he was at my wedding. We're
Wow.
close, bro. The way that it started is hilarious because I was a runner at the time at Chalice, and he was a client. He was booked in Studio G, and they had a Chick-fil-A run in LA. Like had a brand new Chick-fil-A. It's infamous for taking forever, and then they had a Chick-fil-A run, and I took that opportunity to try to make myself useful.
Yeah.
So, you know, I went over there, took their order to food. It was like 15 minutes flat. And that's like unheard of. Like I literally
Wow.
went on that food run like it was the last food run I will ever go on in my life. Like my life
Wow.
depended on it. I came back within 15 minutes. His manager was, he was really surprised how fast I came back. And then that led to the question, "Oh, what do you do? Like, do you
Nice.
do you produce? Do you
Nice.
engineer? Oh, I'm an engineer. Oh, word. Let me get your number." I didn't get a call
Wow.
back for 2 years. I forgot about it. And then they
Did,
called me. HitBoy was going through a transition with his engineer. He called me. I was available. Went over there, showed him I was prepared and ready, and then from there on, like he just kept hitting me back, and then
did,
it got to a point where I had to leave. At that time, I was an engineer at Chalice now, so I was working with all the big hitters every day. It's someone different. Ariana, John Legend,
wow.
like Kid Cudi, Travis Scott, back to back to back to back to back
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
So,
Did you?
huh?
Sorry. Did you ever ask what made him remember you? Was it the fact that
No,
you'd grown bigger as an engineer by then, or was it just that he just remembered that?
I think they probably went down their phone like it's like,
Maybe
oh, I
they
remember
do
this
that.
guy,
They do that.
and then I probably made a like a good impression on him.
Yeah.
And shout out to Cass, who was his manager at the time. But I got the
Wow.
opportunity, and when the bell rang, I was ready.
I mean, people want to help people out these days. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, whenever it is, people do want to help people out. They will go through their phone. They will look at, oh, he's a young guy. He's good, because that's the new generation. That's what we support at Pro Tools as well, and that's kind of what we
Yep.
want to show is that new generation. We want to help, and there's a lot of people in the industry who genuinely want to help. They'll go for the
Hell
list and go,
yeah.
you know what? That guy's young. He's hungry. Maybe he's not there, but let's get him in the studio. Kind
See
of
what he's
make
got.
him into like get him into getting into the zone and actually getting him into mixing or whatever it may be. So I
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
understand, man. Going for the phone list thing, I've heard it many times before as well, and it
Yep, yep.
works.
Definitely, bro.
So what advice do you have for any aspiring engineers out there, David?
I say don't skip any steps. Be the best version of yourself today, and that will lead you to be the best version of yourself when that phone calls. You know what I mean? When that phone rings, you got to be prepared, and that means you can't be skipping steps. You gotta soak in all the knowledge you can soak in. You gotta take some spills. You gotta take some losses so you know how to get back up. If you're with a client and he hires you and you've never taken the L, complete computer crashes in the middle of a session, how can you react?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if your hard drive crashes, like, what are you gonna do? If you've never been through these things before, you're toast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That's huge.
missing prepares you for how to act when you actually make something.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
so true. Yeah, troubleshooting is a huge deal in that particular role, I
Yeah.
imagine.
As we're the last. There is no one we can blame. Something happens,
Yeah.
we can't be like, it's Pro Tools. Oh, Pro Tools sucks. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's probably used that excuse, but it's not.
I get them
bet.
calls
I bet.
pretty much every day, David. So
Yeah,
Hey man,
it's
why is
not.
this working? You
It's
must know.
not.
And I'm like,
Hey, it's not DAE error 1073. Okay, it's not. It's not. It's us. It's us. It's we.
Send
It's our
crash
lack.
report.
Yeah, exactly. But you
People
can't.
just see that as send to G, bro. Like honestly, the amount of times I get it is just like, oh,
That's what happens when you're helpful, though, bro.
Oh
That's
man.
that's the issue. Wow, David, honestly, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, and thanks for all your kind words and your advice for some of our
Sure.
viewers and listeners out there. It's been incredible having you on, and obviously it was incredible meeting you in person earlier this year. And I hope that it's the beginning of a really long and healthy relationship with yourself
Yes,
and
sir.
us at Avid, man.
Yeah, and David, I just want to kind of really just briefly touch on what David's doing outside of kind of just mixing as well. You're helping a new generation of mixers, engineers. You have this education program that you're doing, and obviously we're very supportive of that.
Mhm.
And you can find David on David. What's your Instagram? Sorry.
David Yungin Kim.
We'll
David
put
Yungin
all his
Put everything
details
in
in
details.
the
So
description.
please, if you're into education, you want to learn about mixing, you want to learn from a young, cool person who's really started from the bottom. So please just head over to David's Instagram, and you can see a lot from there. But guys, thank you so much.
Man,
Yeah,
thank
for
y'all,
sure.
man.
And also for some of you that haven't watched the recent video we did with David, go and check that out. He judges a beat that was that was made by G on a surprise trip to to
Los
LA.
Angeles.
So yeah, make sure you guys go and check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, David.
Man,
Thank you,
appreciate
David.
you guys,
Appreciate it,
man.
man.
If you need anything from me, let me know.
Love, man. Thank you very
Thank you,
much. Cheers, everyone, for watching. If you're on YouTube, and make sure you leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this episode. And if you're streaming on your preferred digital streaming platform, please make sure you rate this episode 5 stars. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. See you, David.